Hey guys, it's Jessica again with Pull Through Sites, and I'm excited because this is one place that I have wanted to go my entire life. But being in the middle of the country, it's kind of hard to get here. But I've got Billy with Loon's Haven Family Campground, and we're going to chat all about 2020 and what's coming up in 2021 for the campground. So, Billy, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you and the campground.
Yep. So my name is Billy McNamara. I'm the operations manager here at Loon's Haven Family Campground in Naples, Maine. The campground, actually, we're celebrating next year our 60th anniversary. So 60 years of camping here on Tricky Pond in Naples. This is my third season as the operations manager at Loon's Haven. So I'm relatively new to the camping industry. It's super exciting the whole time. We have 154 sites here. Most of them are on the water because we are on Tricky Pond. We're the only campground on Tricky Pond. It's 450 acres big, about 60 feet deep in the middle, and is one of the cleanest bodies of water in the state of Maine. So it's spring mountain fed. Because we're on the water, most of our sites don't have sewer because they're just too close to the water, but all of our sites have water and electric, and then we do have sites away from the water that have those sewer hookups. So we have something for everyone, whether you're camping in a big rig, we can accommodate you, or you're just tent camping. And we also have rental units. So we have 2 rental cabins and we have 2 waterfront glamping tents. So our glamping tents, you come off the porch and you are right at the edge of the water.
That is awesome. So tell me a little history. Is it family owned for that long?
Yes. So actually, Loon's Haven is the 3rd campground that it's been. It has been a campground for 60 years.
Okay.
The current family that owns it is family run. The Masons have owned it for 25 years now.
Okay.
So they're going into their 25th year of owning Loon's Haven Family Campground. So it is family run. It's his parents ran it, and then he took it over after they retired. And, his kids are very involved as well. And, I'm not part of the family, but I feel like it because of how much, we all work together. So.
That's awesome. That's one of the greatest things about working for family businesses is
yes.
When you can get in and they make you a part of the family, it's awesome.
It is.
So there are a lot of fun things to do at the campground. What are some of the favorite things people like to do?
Well, the biggest thing, of course, is utilizing the pond. So we have 2 beaches here with swimming areas, and then we have 3 boat docks because boating is huge. So whether you're a seasonal camper and you have a boat, or you're just coming to visit us for the weekend, you can bring your boat and have it there and go enjoy the pond. So swimming, boating, canoeing, fishing is huge on the pond. People can fish right off of our fishing dock and they get fish all the time. Please don't ask me what type. I always forget what type of fish it is. But the fishing is very, very big here, and canoeing and kayaking. We also are relatively close to several things. So, if you're up here camping, of course you want to enjoy the outdoors, but maybe you want to go into Portland. We're only 40 minutes from Portland.
Oh, nice.
We're right across from Sebago Lake, which of course is the huge, huge lake there. There's down in Naples, our little town here has some really awesome things. We have the Songo River Queen, which is an old steamboat replica, and you can go out for day cruises. Enjoy those kind of things. So the water is definitely the biggest aspect of what we have to offer, and then just camping and enjoying, campfires and hanging out with your friends.
So are you seeing a lot of campers right now, or do you close for the season?
Yes, no, we close. We're open May 15th through October 15th. It's too cold. This picture in the background is not what it looks like right now because we just got a 1.5 foot of snow. So
okay, all right.
So we closed down in mid-October.
Very cool. So tell me a little bit about what you guys saw this year as far as, but let me back up. What do you typically see for campers? Do you see more full-timers, or do you see more weekend campers, or?
So we actually, because I said, we have 154 sites, 130 of our sites are seasonal campers.
Okay.
And some of these seasonals have been here since the campground opened in 1960.
Wow.
So once people get here, they kind of just stay. So the majority of our sites are seasonals. And then I have another 24 that are for the weekend campers in our rental units. So as far as what we typically see, is we see a lot of out of state. We see a lot of Massachusetts. We see a lot of Pennsylvania, actually, is a big one. New Hampshire, Vermont. And then I would say probably about 40% is usually in-state people in Maine. But typically it's out of state people that are coming up here to enjoy, getting away from the cities and everything.
Nobody from St. Louis, Missouri coming trekking across the country.
I don't think I've had a lot of Missouri. Sometimes we get Florida, occasional like Texas people that are traveling, but it's usually those New England states that come. You're welcome to come anytime.
Maine is on my bucket list, especially in the fall. Like, when does the fall season start?
So our fall colors really start after Labor Day is when they really start to change. And then you've got those few weeks up till we close, and it is so gorgeous. You can just see all the different colors. So anytime from after Labor Day until the end of our season is a great time to come if you want to enjoy the fall. No bugs. It's not hot.
That's nice.
So.
Yeah, I just need to get my husband to like get a different job.
Yeah, there you go.
or be okay with me pulling the rig.
There we go.
We have a 40-foot Montana, and and so like, we're as big as a semi going down the road, and he's like, I don't think that you can handle it. I'm like, I could if I had to.
Yeah, you could at least go straight.
I could go straight. There was a trip earlier this year that he was running late, like he was getting off work late, and we were going with friends, and like they were ready to go. And I was like, well, we could go, but like, you're going to have to help me, because our driveway is a 90-degree turn to get out of it.
Yes.
And I was like, you're going to have to help me get out of the driveway. And then you're going to have to watch me on the 90-degree hill at the, turn at the bottom of the hill. I was like, you know what, let's just wait. Let's just wait. Okay. So what did you guys see a lot of this year? Did you still get all your seasonals come?
So the majority of our seasonals came. A large portion of them are from out of state. So we had a lot of restrictions here in Maine. Like I said, we typically open May 15th. We weren't allowed to open until 3 days before Memorial Day this year. So we got pushed back a little over a week. So some of our seasonals didn't come until mid-June to come up and enjoy, the camping here. It was nerve-wracking for sure. It was a lot of work, and making sure that, we could still be open. We don't want to close our doors forever, like unfortunately, a lot of businesses have. So I wasn't really sure what to expect, and we exploded. We exploded because the camping industry has just done phenomenal this year. People are buying campers. People are camping. They're realizing this is a great way to vacation with your family. You're in a self-contained unit. You don't even have to see anyone, because we do contactless check-in. You could just go to your campsite, enjoy your campsite, and then go to, your next campground. So the biggest thing that we saw here at our campground was a huge raise in Maine residents. So a lot more Maine people. My Maine guests went up 46%.
Wow.
So I was very happy with that, because it's like, we want Maine people to stay here. We want them to enjoy. There's over 300 campgrounds in the state of Maine. We want them to stay here and enjoy that. So that was a big thing that we saw.
So how are you for next year? How are you planning? And let me back up. Sorry, I get ahead of myself. But all of those Maine people, were they mostly weekend campers then? Or were people still coming for weeks at a time?
But either,
Okay.
There were some people that stayed for longer. We do a special where we do like 6 weeks in the spring and 6 weeks in the fall when it's a little bit slower time. So they get that campsite for those whole 6-week time. And so people grab that for sure. And they can enjoy, the springtime, they can enjoy the fall with you're talking about the leaves and everything. So it was very more so the weekend people come for a Friday night, stay Friday night, Saturday, leave Sunday. During the holidays, they'd stay for 4 nights. So probably less on the longer stays for us this year.
So what are you planning for next year?
I'm, doing a lot of work, doing a lot of advocacy for the camping industry, to make sure that we can continue operating, but honestly going into it with a similar mindset of how we started this year, just to be prepared. Like, we know what's coming. We already have the measures in place for the extra cleaning. We already know the protocols that we have to do. We already have, the contactless check-in set up. So those things are good. So basically it's just a lot of getting the word out about camping and making your reservations early. That is the biggest thing, because people it's a new breed of campers now, and they don't realize they'd call me on a Friday afternoon and be like, hey, do you have any sites for this weekend? I'm like, oh no, I am fully booked. So
Yeah.
that's just trying to educate these new campers on the timeliness of making these reservations so you can go and enjoy camping.
Would you say that's so when I think of our audience, mostly weekend campers, a lot of new campers to the industry, would you say that's one of the biggest tips that they need to understand is
Absolutely.
you've got to book?
Absolutely. You have to book early. And, I think a lot of us understand that sometimes it's like a spur of the moment, like, oh, let's go camping this weekend. But because of the influx of campers into the industry, that's getting really rough. So, if you know the dates that you're going to be able to camping, I suggest you make your reservations now. A lot of campgrounds have really great cancellation policies, or even moving your reservation. Like if people call me up and be like, oh, I need to reschedule, not a problem. We can move you around, but get those reservations in early. That is definitely the most important thing that you need to do now.
Yeah. So here in Missouri, we recently, this year, we moved from a 6-month system to a year system for
Mhm.
most of like the state parks or the like Corps of Engineers and things like that.
Yeah.
And so that's been a huge change for us, is where you would book 6 months in advance for whatever date. Now it's a year, and people, I mean, as soon as they leave, they are booking for the next
Yeah.
year.
Booking for next year. Yeah.
And we go to the same place in the fall, back-to-back weekends, because my husband enjoys the outdoors. Like he's an outdoorsman. And I got on and just booked everything. And we ended up canceling 2 weekends and got our refund, and, paid, we have a cancellation fee here or whatever, but it's that simple to know that you have a site.
Yes. Yes. That's the most important thing. Yes.
Yeah.
We open our reservations a year out as well. So like May 15th, we open the next year's reservations. So like the reservations for 2021 have been open since May 15th of this year.
Okay.
So people usually get on and they know they want their specific site. They want that site on the water. They want it for these dates. So they're on there, midnight on May 15th,
Yeah.
booking their reservation. And, unfortunately, I saw a lot of disappointed people this year that they came to stay with us, and they typically make their reservation for next year at the end of their stay. And I'm like, oh, sorry, it's already booked. And they're like, how could it be booked? And people are planning early.
Right.
So
Right.
got to plan. You have to plan.
So then let me ask you, once they get to your park, what do you feel like what's something that they always forget? Like what's a common thing they're buying in your store?
Oh, geez. The biggest thing that happened this year was toothbrushes.
Really?
That was the strangest thing. I had so many people
Huh.
be like, you have toothbrushes? I'm like, yes. And I had to constantly restock my toothbrushes. It wasn't a lot of, parts for the camper, like the sewage hookups and everything like that. I did have some people that needed the adapters for the 30 to 50 amp, 50 amp to 30 amp things. But mostly it was that like toiletry stuff. I think people are so busy packing their food and clothing, and they forget the toiletries.
Yeah. So we actually, with our company Pull Through Sites, we sell apparel and some other things. And one of the things we sell is a last minute bag. And people are like, what is that? And I was like, oh, you hang it on your bedroom door and you just start throwing. It is everything last minute. Like we have toothbrushes that live in the camper, but like toothbrushes, glasses, contacts, like all those things that you don't have an extra of in the camper, you literally throw in this bag. You put the bag in the truck or throw it in the camp, whatever. And it's that last minute stuff. And people are like, that's genius. And I'm like,
Yes.
I didn't come up with it. I took it from somebody else. I just put the name on it, And, but yeah, you don't think I would never have thought toothbrushes.
Yeah, toothbrushes.
So of the people that came this year, do you feel like, how was the community for the new campers?
For us, it was awesome. I've had some great people. I think it's the biggest thing is like ask questions. If you don't know something, like we had people ask us about certain things like with their black and gray tanks, and we're glad we have a full maintenance team here. We come down and help you out. If you need help backing in your trailer, if you need help spotting your camper, putting slide outs out, ask. You know,
Yeah,
if you need help, just ask. That's what the staff is here for.
that's
And
awesome.
we part of the contact list thing is we have a text number so people can just text us and, you know, ask questions or things like that. That was really, really successful, and it made my life way easier too,
Yeah.
because I could just shoot a text back. So, you know, just ask the questions if you need help with something. People ask about wood, you know, and we had an online store and we would deliver right to your site. So ice,
Oh,
wood, we
nice.
even delivered beer, things like that. Anything that you could buy in the store was on our online store for delivery. So
That's awesome. You guys really did pivot
yes.
to as much as you could to online within the park
Yes.
and then just delivered.
Yes.
No
Yep.
different than them doing DoorDash or Uber
Yeah.
Eats or anything else, like just delivered it right to the campground.
Just we took it right to them, and I think that helped a lot of people, because a lot of people were leery about coming into the
Sure.
store. Like, they did the online check-in so they don't even have to see anyone, so it's like, but they still need things. And of course I want to have everything here that you need. I don't
Yeah.
want you to have to leave the park. Like, you're here, enjoy your campsite. You know, if you need firewood, if you need ice, we can bring it to you. We have an on-site cafe too, the Lazy Loon Cafe, and we have a wood-fired brick oven for pizza. And so I set up that you could order food online, and you know, we had staff, they deliver it right to your site, and people were just ecstatic about that. They don't have to leave their campsite, they can just hang out. Pizza's delivered right to them. So
Now,
that was a big.
will that be something that you continue like
Yes. Yeah.
for the foreseeable future? Or, you know, I guess I won't say forever, but like that just kind of makes it easier.
It does. And, you know, actually before this happened at the end of last season, these are things that I started to move towards,
Mhm.
is setting these things up, setting up the online store, setting up the online ordering. So thankfully, when the COVID happened, I had already started the process. So I just had to finish it. But yeah, this is awesome. It helps people not have to come in the office. So you're not standing in line doing a check-in. You're already taking care of your packets at the gate, because we do have a gate here.
Mhm.
So the packet's there, you pick it up, you go right to your site. If you need anything, you can text us. If you want to order anything, you can do it online. So absolutely, I will continue this and improve it, amplify it even more.
That's awesome. And so I think that's what I found, like with a lot of businesses, and I work with in other capacities, I work with businesses, either people were kind of on the cusp of making changes in their business and that like this kind of forced it,
Yes.
or like they had no idea and they were
Yeah.
just like shocked, you know, and just kind of fell off. And so I'm sure you talked to other campgrounds in the area. Do you feel like most people kind of made the pivot and moved on, or are there campgrounds really struggling in your area?
There are, unfortunately. You know, something in Maine that we have problem with is internet. We don't
Mm,
have really great internet, and so some of our campgrounds are way up in northern Maine, and so their internet isn't that great, so they're not able to do things as easily. And also it's a learning curve, learning how to do these things.
yeah.
And so we have the Maine Campground Owners Association, which is, you know, our state association, and then we also made a Facebook group for any Maine campground that wants to join. And the camaraderie and the assistance that everyone gave, it made me so happy, because people were talking, helping each other. Like, I helped a few people even set up their online stores. I'm like, you guys have to do this, you have to do something. And
Yeah.
so, you know, just helping each other and doing that. But I think that the people who were able to implement some sort of change that way were successful. The ones that didn't, I think, are having a little bit rougher time, unfortunately.
I think what you just said though really speaks to the community of what camping is all about.
Yes.
And you know, I read so Matthew McConaughey, the actor, wrote a book called Green Lights, and I read it recently, and he talks about his time traveling the U.S. in his Airstream trailer. And he says, you know, he calls them trailer park people, but trailer park people are the best people.
Yes.
And if their door is open, you can go right in, talk with them, have a beer, sit down, chit chat. If the door's closed, you probably can't go in. I'm like, that is so true. Like,
It is.
if I mean, if I'm out or if the door's open, like I'm talking to everybody,
Yep.
you know. And my husband always jokes because he does hunt and all that. He'll go do that, and then I'll be at the camper all day or hiking or whatever. And he'll come back and I'm like, oh yeah, Jim and Sally. And he's like, how do you know these people? I just went for a walk.
Talk to
He
people.
goes, you know everything but their social. I'm like, well, I just ask questions. So, but that it speaks to the community. So it's so great to hear that it's not just campers. The campgrounds are also all talking to each other, all trying to make the experience that much better for all of
Yeah.
us.
I mean, that's what we're here for. You know, it's not like we just flip a switch and then sit back and rest for the rest of the season. Like we work hard all winter long to provide these camping experiences for everyone. We want you here. And that's, you know, that's something that I've said before is we want our spots filled. We want people here enjoying camping. I love to see that. I love to smell the campfires. I love to see the sites filled. I love to see people enjoying that and having those. And one thing about our seasonals is they're really great because they help anybody. You know, even if they're just the weekend camper and they're having trouble, they help them. And it's really a family here with the seasonals, and we have a lot of returning guests, and you know, people come and they're all excited to see each other. So the camping industry as a whole is like a big family, no matter where you are.
Yeah. That's awesome. So let me ask, since you talked about being booked up or whatever, are you booked for next season?
Almost.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a great feeling, right?
It is. I'm totally booked for Memorial Day. I
Mm-hmm.
have like 2 sites left for 4th of July. The majority, like middle of July to August, is almost completely booked. So
That's awesome. That's great. I
it
mean,
is.
I love to see it. I know like some people are going to be mad, but I love to see you guys like busy and booked and people are getting
Yes,
out there. Even if
I
it's the
do.
same people every weekend, who cares? They're coming
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
So,
I know. I love it.
well, Billy, this has been great. Thank you so much for sharing all about your campground. And you guys, I'll link below to their website and all their social media channels, but get on their website. First of all, it's so cute when you pull it up and it's got ducks and you're just like, oh, look at this, you know? And I know you say we're on the pond and I'm like, oh, so I think little pond. And you're like, no, it's
Huge.
huge. So y'all check out all of their stuff. Obviously, if you want to get up to Maine and make some reservations, you need to get on it.
Yes.
And you're probably going to have to go, you know, early season or late season. Yeah, let us know if you have any questions for Billy. I'll be sure to pass them along if we get any comments. And thank you. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
your time.
Thank you.